Welcome to the Vintage Vibe video on utilizing the Japanese pull saw. We're going to use this saw in our restoration work on Fender Rhodes pianos. On the table here, you'll see tools that you will probably need in the restoration. Here we have wood glue, painter's tape, side cutters, a utility knife, a sanding block, the Japanese pull saw, another small sanding block, various sizes of wood dowels, and a chisel. This one here is a thicker dowel that we might use for larger holes. Let's get to it. It's a great tool for cleaning up woodwork that has unnecessary and unsightly holes. After all, your vintage piano is a valuable piece of history. With a Japanese flush saw, you can perform work like a master craftsman would. We have removed the harp and the outer case, as well as the damper rail. Now we are ready to begin. Since we are changing escapement and strike line, we will certainly be adding new holes. So the idea is to cleanly fill the old holes and make the wood as clean as possible. There is great pride in doing clean work. Nothing says you don't care like leaving messy holes. So now we're going to start with the side support. Depending on the size of the hole, you may need to shave the dowel down. So we're going to shave this down because this hole seems a bit small. So we'll take a little bit and test it. I think I want to go a little bit more. Get this a little bit thinner. This particular hole has been drilled on an angle. That's not going to be standard. Most of them will go straight in, but this one, as you can see, is going sort of an angle, which makes it a little bit more difficult. So let me thin this out a little bit more. You want to make sure that your dowel has a circumference that's pretty consistent all the way through. This way it fills the hole properly. There. I think that's fitting pretty well. So let's get a little glue, wood glue on this now. What I'm doing is I'm turning it to try to coat the inside of the hole with the glue. Once I think I have the glue in there, I'm going to tap it in with my rubber mallet. If you don't have a rubber mallet, any hammer will do. Once it's secure in there, we're going to want to just use our flush saw. And it's called a flush saw because you can get absolutely flush with the surface it's butting up against. And it's called a Japanese pull saw because it cuts on the reverse way when you pull it. So now that that's in there, we actually have two holes that you can see. So I filled the first one. We'll go back and fill the second one. Just run a sanding block over it to smooth it out. Okay, well, let's fill that other hole. So we're really going to need to whittle this one down because that secondary hole is a lot smaller. You want to keep turning it so you're not shaving off only on one side. Let's try that. I think that's going to work. So again, we'll take a little glue, turn it, get the glue on the inside, take our mallet, and take our flush saw once again. Cut that. And with a block, we'll clean it. And there you go. Your holes are filled and clean. And you can keep sanding away as well to get rid of any old marks and discoloration. The side support hole is changed when you reposition strike line, as the bracket secures the harp to the support in a fixed position once strike line is established. The holes on the top of the side support are also changed when changing escapement and strike line. Filling the holes cleanly is important not only for practical applications, but for clean cosmetic restoration. Now we're going to address the top holes on the side support. First, we're going to remove this fiber strip on top of the support. By using a chisel, we can easily get underneath the fiber support to access the holes. As you can see, there's 2 holes drilled right next to each other. One of the reasons why we're going to redo these is generally you want your holes a little bit further apart. If we had left the holes once we changed the escapement, one of these holes might interfere with the placement of our new screw. So for practicality purposes, we're going to fill them, but also for cosmetic reasons. If you look at both of these holes, you'll see one of them is larger than the other. Our 1/8 inch dowel is going to be a little bit too small for the larger hole, so we're going to whittle down a 1/4 inch oak dowel stock. The second one, I believe, is going to fit just right with the 1/8 inch, so we'll try both of them. A little bit more. I think that's going to do it. You just want to make sure we have enough length that's the same width as the front of the dowel going in, so it fills evenly. All right, let's use that. So this time we can just pour a little glue into the hole. Doesn't need much. You don't need too much or else it's just going to overflow. Again, we'll spin it. And then with our mallet, we'll drive it in. And with our flush saw, we'll pull it. And that's nice. Let's do the second one now. Now the holes are filled and clean. Since the piano is in the early stages and we have not established strike line or escapement yet, the next thing we're going to want to do is remove this side support and bring it over to our table saw. There we're going to remove a top layer of this side support so we can lower the escapement. Once we do this, you'll no longer see this black residue from the old fiber board. Another important hole you may need to fill is from the center pin. Often you will find these holes with a broken screw inside or multiple holes from various attempts at finding the correct angle for the center pin screw. This hole right here was an attempt at finding the right angle, but unfortunately it was the wrong angle, so we're going to fill it. And once we fill it, we'll put the damper rail back on and we'll properly measure it and drill it. Regarding the hole with the broken screw, what I am doing is filling the hole with a combination of sawdust and wood glue. I'll repeat until the hole is filled and I can file it flush with the surface. The flush saw is an integral part of Fender Rhodes restoration. I never restore a piano without my flush saw, nor would I be able to do the quality of work I expect without one. If you would like a flush saw, visit www.vintagevibe.com to get yours.